Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at a review for writing slope-intercept form. So to get some definitions down, when you're looking at slope, slope shows the rate of change for a line. So if you're looking at any line, it's going to tell you how much it rises compared to how much it runs. And when you're looking at when things rise, you're looking at your y values because it goes up just like your y axis. And then it's going to be over your x values because it's looking at traveling back and forth just like your x-axis does. So a big formula that they like for you to know is slope, which can be represented by the letter m. Slope is going to be equal to your y2 value minus your y1 value divided by your x2 value minus your x1 value. And you're going to get those x's and y's from points. So you'll be given 1 point x1, y1 and another point x2, y2, and you'll just take those values, plug them in and simplify, and that will give you your slope. Also part of that slope-intercept form is going to be your y-intercept. Your y-intercept is going to be the point where a graph touches the y-axis. So in this case, if we're looking at that line, this point right there, that's going to be our y-intercept, which can be represented with a b. And whenever you're looking at this y-intercept, there's always going to be a guarantee for your x value. Your x value is always going to be 0. So it's always going to be 0 and some kind of a number, whether it be positive or negative, depending on what the graph does. It's going to be 0 and a number. So keep an eye out for those whenever you look at problems, because sometimes they'll sneak one of those in there and it'll look like a hard problem, and it's really not that bad because they give you that y-intercept easy peasy. So altogether, both of those make up slope-intercept form, and it's one way to name a line. There's lots of different ways to name them. The most commonly used is slope-intercept, and then again, it's made up of your slope, which is represented by an m, and your y-intercept, which is represented by a b. So you're going to be looking at y is equal to mx plus b for your slope-intercept form, where you have to have a value for m and you have to have a value for b in order to have written the equation of the line. The y and the x are always going to stay in there. Whenever you're writing your answer, the y and x will always be there. So an example of slope-intercept form would be y is equal to -1/2 x plus 7. So from this we could get that our slope is going to be -1/2 because it's in that m spot, and then our y-intercept is going to be +7. Okay. So to look at an example of that, they give us an example where they tell us they have a line that has a slope of -7/18 and a y-intercept is 3, and they want to know the equation in slope-intercept form. So the first thing I'm going to focus on is the fact that they tell me slope-intercept form, and I'm going to write down what that is. That's going to be y is equal to mx plus b. That's what they want. And then I know they want a value for m for the slope, and they want a value for b for the y-intercept, and I've got to get that from the information that they give me. So right here it says slope of -7/18. So my slope is going to be equal to -7/18. So I can say that y is going to be equal to -7/18x plus, still need my y-intercept. Here they tell me that it's 3, so my y-intercept is going to be 3. So the equation of my line is going to be y is equal to -7/18x plus 3. Okay. Well, this one was really nice because they just straight up gave you the information. They can start giving you problems where they don't give you all of the information, and you just have to look at what you have, what you need, and how to get there. So there is a line that includes this point and has a slope of 1. What is the equation in slope-intercept form? So there again, they tell me exactly what they want. They want slope-intercept form. So I'm going to go y is equal to mx plus b. Have to have a value for m, have to have a value for b. So I'm going to go and look through the problem and see what kind of information they give me. They say they give me a point. Well, I know points are made up of x's and y's. Well, that doesn't go in for m or b. They also tell me we have a slope of 1. So let's plug in the slope of 1. y is equal to 1x plus b. Still need that value for b. Well, in order to be able to solve for one value, you have to have all the others. So that would mean we would have to have an x and we would have to have a y. They give us an x and a y. So for y, I'm going to write negative 15 is going to be equal to 1 times x, which is negative 10, plus b. So then I just simplify and solve for b. So 1 times negative 10 is going to give me negative 10 plus b. Add 10 to both sides because I'm solving for b, because that's what I need to finish my equation. So negative 15 plus 10 is going to give me a negative 5 is equal to b. So there we go. Y is equal to, and I'm going to simplify the 1x and just write x, and then b is negative 5 or minus 5. So there's our equation. And then looking at the last example, they tell us that we have a line that passed through those points, and then they want slope-intercept form. So again, slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. Need a value for m, need a value for b. Well, I told you earlier, for our y-intercept, if we have 0 and a number, that'll give us our y-intercept. And so I'm double checking, did they do that for us? No, they didn't. So they don't give us the y-intercept, so that means I have to go with slope. And that's where we're going with that definition for slope. Slope is going to be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to pick, this one's going to be my number 1 point, which will mean my x1 is 7. So this is my y, both my number 1 point, x1, y1. This is an x, this is a y, and this is my number 2 point, so x2, y2. So I'm going to plug them straight into the formula. So my y2 is 13 minus y1 is 1 over x2 is 13 minus x1 is 7. I'm going to simplify. 13 minus 1 is 12 over 13 minus 7 is going to be 6. M is equal to 12 over 6. And if you're not sure with how to simplify these, you can always double check it in your calculator, and your calculator will tell you. But in this case, 12 over 6 is going to give us 2. So y is going to be equal to 2x plus, I still need that b value. Well, in order to get the b value, they would have to give me an x and they would have to give me a y. Oh, in this case, they gave us 2. I'm going to use this one, though, just because it has smaller numbers. The 13 will work just like the 7-1 will. I'm just going with the 7-1 because it's got smaller numbers. So I'm going to plug that into my equation that I'm working with. The equation I'm working with is y is equal to 2x plus b. So for y, I'm going to write 1 is equal to 2 times, and then the x value is going to be 7 plus b. I need to solve for b because I need that b value. 1 is going to be equal to 2 times 7 is 14 plus b minus 14 from both sides. And then b is going to be equal to 1 minus 14 is going to give us a negative 13. So then I can plug that in for my equation. Y is equal to 2x minus 13. And that's a review for you for writing equations in slope-intercept form.